I was in the Navy from 1969 through 1973. I served aboard the USS Ticonderoga, which is an anti-submarine warfare aircraft carrier. I was in the squadron aboard that. I flew in a radar plane, which was basically like an airborne, I was like an airborne air traffic controller. And so we would go for 5 or 6 hour hops looking for subs. I never saw one. And yeah, and then we did a lot of exercises with foreign countries, like off the coast of Hawaii. And so that's basically, I was stationed out of San Diego after I finished getting my wings back east. And then I left the military in December of '73. When I was aboard ship, this was, of course, in '70 through '73, if we weren't doing around the clock flight operations, we were in transit or we were not doing anything. And so it was very boring. And so I read a lot. And I mean, there was no cell phones. There was a closed circuit TV, which showed us I Love Lucy or something in the ready room. And we had a movie night once or twice a week, I think. And that was about it. But I was going in and out of Hawaii, and my mother was in Hawaii. My father was stationed there in the Navy. And she was an artist. And so I was complaining about this, and she said, well, you used to, draw in high school. So she gave me a couple of books, I think The Natural Way to Draw or whatever, and some sketch pads and some pencils and things. And so then when I went aboard ship, I started drawing and anything I could find. Unfortunately, it was my bunkmates, lots of times sleeping because they didn't move and I could actually draw. So I did that for, we were out there for, 6 months. And so I was drawing for about 6 months, came back in, and then kept drawing when I was back on shore, and started adding watercolors, and then picked up a little pamphlet on acrylic paints and started working with acrylics. I did pen and inks because someone gave me a pen and ink set, and I said, well, let's try this. I did block prints because it was kind of fun, and worked with, with acrylics and watercolor, but mainly just kind of just dabbled and played with it because it was, I just found it fun and interesting to do. Out of the military, I went back to San Luis Obispo to get my master's degree. And I had done, some college plays there. And an actress was directing a play who said, oh, you should, come and do this, the part in Camino Real with Tennessee Williams. And so I said, and my wife at the time was an actress. And so I did it, and then she did a play. We kind of went back and forth for a while. So I got involved with theater again for about 5 years, did a lot of up and down the Central Coast, and did commercials and things like that. And then I moved because I had a master's degree, but really couldn't find work in San Luis Obispo because everybody wants to live in San Luis Obispo and they don't care about getting any money. And I had to go find a job. So I went to Southern California and stopped acting, did a little bit of drawing in between for about 20 years, and then picked it up again about 18 years ago. A friend of mine said, well, you've never had any acting lessons. So South Coast Repertory, they got adult classes. So I took those for about 2 years, loved it, did not want to get back out into the treadmill again like I had before because it was just nonstop. And then I was seen by someone from Reed Gorilla Theater Company in a class, and they brought me to Dave Barton, the director, and he wanted me for 2 parts in a play, and then I started doing theater again. Well, we were just 2 weeks from opening. I was going to do Big Daddy and Cat in the Hot Tin Roof, and when this pandemic hit and closed everything down. And of course, we can't go back and I can't go back and do theater again until we get a vaccine and some therapeutics in place. So we're looking at, next March, earliest. And so in the meantime, I was working on my script for about 6 weeks, and I finally said, no, it's going to be a year from now. So what am I going to do? And so I started pulling out some of the old art stuff and sent away for just some CDs on drawing, one on watercolor and one on painting, and was getting all ready to I will set those things up and start working on those, because I just have to have some sort of creative outlet. And I've always said, when I can't remember lines anymore, which is probably going to come sooner than later, that I will just start taking art classes, because I've never taken any art classes. And so now with this pandemic, it's kind of pushed my timeline. So I'm going to start going back into the art classes with the idea that when theater comes back, that I would go back to theater. And who knows, maybe I know I'm going to do one more play, but I may just stop and just go with art. All I can say is that for me, is that when I am creatively involved in either creating a piece of art, whether it be a character or a drawing or a painting, then I feel alive. And it takes my mind out of the here and now. And right now, the here and now is boring. I've gained 10 pounds of boring weight in this situation. And just going out and walking every day isn't enough. So I have to have something that's going to keep my mind active. Yes, it takes me someplace besides the news. And so that's what I strive for, is to go someplace where I can think about something else besides my daily life, or lack of my daily life.